Hi everybody, it's Coach Ali and I want to welcome you to your 30 days bodybuilding series. In this series, we're combining training with dumbbells along with training with your functional trainer and creating bodybuilding sets in order to muscle you guys up and really get that fit and strong looking body. Let's get started. Starting this superset with a single arm dumbbell row. So using your bench for support, you can see Coach Levi's got his opposite knee on the bench and he's using his hand to keep his balance. And then it's just a matter of allowing the dumbbell to drop straight down and pulling up a row all the way to your ribs. So you want to try and get your hand as close to your ribs as you can. Very important to maintain a neutral spine. So where a lot of people go wrong with this exercise is that they tend to hunch over. So we want to make sure that we're not doing that. Now you can see Coach Levi is also keeping his support leg slightly bent as well. So that's the foot that's on the floor. To complement this, we're going to go over to the functional trainer and work some cable lat pull downs. So seated position, legs nice and straight with your toes pointing up, and then it's just a matter of working that pull down as far as you can. So really just trying to get your elbow to your waistline and then stretching all the way back up. Good steady controlled movement and controlling the negative on the way up as well. Okay, let's take 30 seconds break and repeat that last superset. You know what they say, third time's a charm. Let's take 30 seconds break and hit up set 3. Starting this combination with a single arm T row. So very similar to the single dumbbell row that you do, with the exception that rather than tucking your elbow in, you're letting your elbow hang out into what looks like a T position. So you want to try and keep your elbow aligned with your shoulder as much as you can. This is a much harder exercise than a basic single row, and it works a lot higher up your back. So we're basically working the posterior delts, working the rhomboids, working the scapula, and just making sure that we've got nice control over the movement. To complement working on the middle and upper back for this one, we're going to go into some lying cable reverse flies. So you can see we're holding the handles with opposite hands, lying on the floor nice and flat, and then it's just a matter of pulling your arms soft straight down into that crucifix position, and then just allowing a nice steady controlled release. This is a fantastic upper body posterior combination. Your turn. Okay, let's take 30 seconds break and repeat that last superset. You know what they say, third time's a charm. Let's take 30 seconds break and hit up set 3. Starting this superset with some dumbbell deadlifts. So you can see we're going all the way down with these, and when we come up, we're pushing the shoulders back and separating the dumbbells. Now this is a full deadlift so that you can see we're getting a pretty good squat out of it, and then as you're leaning forward, just making sure that you're maintaining your neutral spine and protecting your back throughout, lifting up, squeezing the shoulder blades back, and just really focusing on the glutes, hamstrings, and then your scapula as well. Then we're going to go into some bench seated rows. So just pulling up your bench in position and just working some seated rows from there. So allowing your arms to extend all the way forward until you're at a stretch, and then we're going to pull the arms back in a straight line like train tracks, and bringing your hands all the way to your ribs, getting that full contraction in the lats and in the biceps as well, and releasing nice and slow. Now you can see that there's no swinging of the upper body, so it's very important to try and control this. Okay, let's take 30 seconds break and repeat that last superset. Starting this superset with some dumbbell hammer curls, and you can see that I'm doing these alternately, so I'm concentrating on one side at a time. You can see my feet are at shoulder width, my knees are slightly bent, my hips marginally behind me so that I'm protecting my back. And then it's a matter of throwing up those hammer curls without allowing movement in your elbows. And then we're going to go over to our cables and work some lying bicep curls. Now, we're doing these alternately as well, but the difference is that there's a rotation in the wrist as opposed to a neutral hand position, which we did with our hammer curls. So by creating that rotation, we're going to really try and hit the peak of the biceps. And again, very important to try to keep your elbows as stationary as you can throughout this exercise. Your turn to try this combination. Okay, let's take 30 seconds break and repeat that last superset. Starting this set with a double biceps curl. So standing up straight, knees are slightly bent, your hips are marginally behind you, there's no swinging of the upper body, and then it's a matter of curling up, getting that nice rotation in as you're doing the biceps curls, and then just trying to keep your elbows as stationary as you can keep them throughout. Good control on the negative as well, so you can see I'm releasing nice and slow. We're going to couple this exercise with some cable seated rows. So I'm doing this one on the floor where I've got ample support, and you can see I'm pushing one of my feet onto the functional trainer for that extra bit of support, and then it's just a matter of pulling the seated row all the way back with tight elbows. So you've got to make sure your elbows are by your ribs, your hands are working their way back much like train tracks, so straight lines, And then pulling all the way to your waistline and releasing nice and slow. Now make sure there's no swinging of the upper body and make sure that your spine is remaining nice and neutral. Your turn to try this superset. Okay, let's take 30 seconds break and repeat that last superset. You know what they say, third time's a charm. Let's take 30 seconds break and hit up set 3. starting this combination with some wide grip pull-ups. So you can see that I'm starting just in that hanging position, and then it's a matter of pulling as far up as you can and then releasing nice and slow. Now, if you've got trouble doing pull-ups, a good novice way of starting is just to go into that hang position and just hang your body weight. Get used to holding onto your body weight. Then we're going to grab the cables and work some biceps preacher curls. So the way this one works, you can see I've got my opposite arm underneath my elbow. So the support arm's basically keeping my elbow in position, and I'm just working some biceps curls from there. Very important to get good range of movement, and then just make sure you're releasing nice and slow in order to protect your elbow. Your turn to try this combination. Okay, let's take 30 seconds break and repeat that last superset. Starting this combination with a Scarecrow or a W delts rotation, if you like. So you're starting in a perfect T-line, so making sure you got a straight line from one elbow to the other. And then it's just a forward rotation until your arms go from vertical to horizontal while maintaining your elbow height. Now make sure your knees are slightly bent to support your back. And good steady movement throughout. Then we're going to go over to the cables and work some double biceps curls. So making sure your elbows are remaining in front of you, they're nice and stationary, and then just pulling up both sides of the biceps curl together. Make sure your wrists don't snap, so you've got to keep the wrists nice and straight as well. Pulling all the way up, and then nice slow negative release on this exercise. Your turn to try it. Okay, let's take 30 seconds break and repeat that last superset. Well done for getting through your workout today, guys. Let's take a moment to stretch and cool our bodies down. Now, remember to hit the subscribe button right here so that you don't miss another workout. See you on the next episode.